not a fan of deep V-necks. Hey guys, welcome back to my video. I don't know what that was. Anybody who's new into the gay world, or anyone who is not new but is curious of always hearing things, I'll hang out with like a friend or someone who's like completely new, and then it's like we have our own language when it's like we really don't have our own language. I thought it would be a good idea just to give anybody out there just an idea and a concept of some of the gay terminology that happens. The only reason why I'm laughing right now is because I know that some of it's going to be very vulgar, and just know that if you're, I recommend if you're 18 or older watching this, because some of it can be very graphic and detailed, but I'm going to try to keep it as PG as I can when describing the terms. So I'm just going to get right through it. This is going to just be quick and simple. Okay, so when we're getting into the sexual phase, there's two things that are called a top and a bottom. Now, a person who is considered a top is the person who likes to take the more aggressive role sexually. So think of it more as the pitcher. They're the ones that like to be in control of the scenario. It can happen with the other one, but mainly someone who is considered a top sexually is someone who in bed, they like to take the more dominating role. If someone is considered a bottom, they're the ones who take the passive role sexually in bed. They're the ones that kind of are more of like the catcher, so they are more apt to receive than to give sexually. It is so hard to describe this subject and without laughing about the verse. The term verse is considered a combination of both being a top and a bottom. You don't mind doing either or. FWB basically means friends with benefits. Now we're getting more into the terms of when you're going onto either gay dating sites or gay websites or applications and things like that. Friends. When someone says they're looking for friends, more than likely they're just looking for friends. In the gay world, I find that it's very straightforward. People are very straightforward what they're looking for. So if someone's telling you, you know, what are you looking for, and you say friends, and more than likely they're just pretty much sticking with friends. Fun. When someone says they're looking for fun, that pretty much means that they're looking for sex. So it's pretty much like the nicer way of saying like, hey, I'm looking to either hook up or have sex with you. The term power bottom is so extreme and it cracks me up every time I hear it. Power bottom basically means someone who's very well experienced in the passive role during your sexual activity and enjoys the pleasure of receiving very, it's kind of hard to say hardcore, but it's really, I think it is kind of like hardcore sex. But yeah, like it doesn't matter like what size the person is, they just really do like taking it, and they find complete pleasure in taking that, and it doesn't hurt them. They just can take it very, very well. Relationship. When someone says they're looking for a relationship, to be honest with you, is a person who is genuinely looking for a relationship. People in the gay world, when they say that they're looking for something, they're very straightforward. I find that they're very straightforward with looking for, because they're the type that are just looking for something that's a little bit more committed. No offense to anybody out there who likes to party, but it's not like when you hear the term party, you go out and party. The term party is like, if someone's like, hey, what are you looking for? I'm looking for like party. They'll be like, oh, party. That pretty much means that they're looking to like gather a group of a ton of people and just like have like an orgy sex. People gather in one area and you just kind of like all get together in a big sexual activity. So that's pretty much what party is. It's not like an actual party, it's more like that type of a party. You see the word visiting. It's someone who is traveling and they are probably not going to be looking for a relationship. These are people that are not really looking for committed stuff. They're more people just letting you know that they're there for a certain amount of time frame. And more than likely, these people are either looking for friends or they're looking for fun. When someone says they're discreet, that pretty much means that they do not like being exposed for their sexuality. So just more of like coy about being gay, if that makes any sense. They're just not comfortable. Either they're not comfortable with their sexuality yet and they don't want to expose themselves. A lot of people would say DL, and DL basically stands for down low. And down low can basically is mainly for people who are straight and they like to mess around with gay men on the side. Now, they can either be completely straight, they can either be bisexual, or they can just be gay but on the DL. More than likely, they tend to be straight on the DL. Femme is considered someone who is extremely feminine, someone who has very feminine manners, like you know, there's a certain amount of level of feminization, but majority of the time when you hear the word femme, it just basically means if you have feminine or, you know, feminine manners. Masc basically means if you have masculine mannerisms. So if you're more like a guy, some people can have a little bit of both, femme and masculine in them. Some people are just like a mixture of two, but masc just basically means having masculine mannerisms. DD-free, I think, I'm not too sure about this, but I think DD-free basically means if you're disease-free. This pertains to people who are looking for fun or looking for like sex. Yeah. Neg basically means if someone is completely negative, sexually, they get tested and they're clean. Pos basically means if someone is positive with HIV, unsafe sex, or it can happen from a lot of different ways, to be honest with you, accidents and things like that. But if someone is considered pos, that basically means that they're letting you know that they're HIV positive. I remember the first time I heard of poppers, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a candy or something like that. And someone brought that up to me one time, and they're like, oh yeah, have you ever heard of poppers? And I was like, what is poppers? Poppers are these little, it's like a little bottle thingy that you like sniff, I guess, and during sexual activity, and what it does, it's supposed to like do something. It's supposed to do something to your brain to like loosen up a little bit and to be a little bit more like it's like an arousal kind of thing. It's really weird. It's temporary. Technically, people have said that it doesn't really do anything to your brain or anything like that. But if you're someone who is passive during the sexual activity, then it's supposed to like loosen you up a little bit more, if you know what I mean. Open. If someone tells you that they're open, you know, what are you looking for? And someone says open. That basically means that this person is open to pretty much anything. They're open to friends with benefits, fun, just getting to know you, just chatting with you. Someone who is very just open-minded, or, you know, they're looking for a relationship, whether it's long-term or short-term. Should hang, chill. Someone who says that we should hang or chill pretty much is implying 99% of the time that you should come over to their house and pretty much eventually throughout the time, you know, while watching TV or a movie or something like that, eventually just get into sexual activity. I'm not saying that this is everyone, but majority of the people that I have come across always try to pull this. And I'll, like, you know, some of the times you'll let a person know, like, you know, are you sure we're just gonna chill? Are you sure? And you gotta kind of emphasize a little bit, because if you're not looking for sexual activity, you gotta really emphasize. You're gonna be like, no, are we really gonna chill, or do you want to chill? Like, you know, so it'll happen a lot. You just gotta be very aware of it and be very stern as to what you're looking for, because then if not, it can end up being a complete disaster. No agenda expectations. Someone who says that, if they're asking you what you're looking for and you say that, they basically means that you really have no expectations. You're not looking for anything. I'm just kind of like going with the flow. Let's see how things go. If I meet you, I meet you, blah, 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 blah. We'll take it from there. Safe. Someone who says that they're safe is someone, the word safe pretty much means that during sexual activity, you practice safe sex, which is really good. You always want to practice very safe sex. I always recommend this to anyone practicing any type of sex, whether you're gay or straight. You should always be practicing safe sex. So yeah, that's what that pretty much means. Raw. Someone who says raw is someone who practices raw sex. So raw sex is without protection. It's not something I would recommend because it could be very dangerous. I mean, I don't even know. I always recommend everybody practice safe sex, but just know if you hear the terminology, if someone's looking, you know, if they're like raw, just know that they're looking for, you know, sexual activity without any type of protection. Okay, you guys, so that's all that I have today for the terminology. I hope I explained everything very well. If you guys have learned something throughout this experience or throughout this video, I would love to hear from it. I know there was a lot of stuff that I had to go through personally, and there's still stuff that I'm still trying to get to know, or things that like come up in my mind or that I hear that I have no idea that I'm completely aware of. Yeah, I hope that you learned a lot and you learned through my experience, and I always recommend everybody out there to practice safe sex no matter what. Be completely safe, you guys. You want to protect yourself and you want to protect other people. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will talk to you guys soon. Ciao.